Okay, so today I wanted to prepare for summer solstice because summer solstice is like a threshold that we get to move through. It's kind of like New Year's resolutions. It's this, and we have like the planets supporting us as we go into it. Like, what are we wanting to create? Or it's like a new moon, and there's a lot of extra fire behind it. And normally, well, back in the day, when I was more vinyasa-y, I would always do 108 sun salutations for summer solstice. So I figured, and I would do 108 sun salutations divided by 4, and each 4 sections would have a different dedication. So we'll do that today, but instead of doing sun salutations, we'll do like 2 sun salutations and like some standing poses. And I thought we would focus a lot on compassion. I've been listening to the Dalai Lama. I've been liking his viewpoint around COVID a lot, and his big thing is like, if we just all need to like be working on more compassion, if we have more compassion for other people, we'll show up in the world differently, and we'll care that all these people are sick instead of like, well, my family is not, so we're good, you know? So that's what we'll work with today. Take an upright seated posture, let your eyes close. You all have a regular practice, so do whatever technique works for you to help you drop into your meditation. And begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Don't need to change your breath, just notice how you're breathing. Your awareness is like the sky. So you're creating this container that you're aware of, and you're becoming the observer instead of the emotion or the thought. And the thoughts or the emotions or the distractions become like clouds that can pass through the awareness. Notice if there's any fear or anxiety present. Instead of gripping onto it and making it bigger or trying to push it away, just notice what it feels like in your body. And then imagine that this fear or anxiety that you're feeling is the collective. You're feeling the same fear and anxiety that everyone else is feeling. And begin to use your breath to help you move this cloud of anxiety through your awareness. I like to think of my breath like a filtration system, helping me filter out these emotions. And as you filter out this emotion within yourself, feel that you're helping filter out this held emotion in the collective. It's a really great practice to do when you feel anxiety coming up. Bring your hands into front of your heart, lift your chest up to your thumbs. And we'll begin with a prayer that all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering, that all beings everywhere feel love and safety. And may the work that we do together today help in that way greatly. And we'll tune in with the Anusara invocation, 1 Om, invocation, 1 more Om. We'll do 3 breaths to start. Take a full breath in, hold and lengthen, get clear. Out through your mouth. 2 more times in. Out. In. As you hold and squeeze, imagine that you can blast your intention to touch everyone throughout the whole world. Out. Oh. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Mortaye Nish Prapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om. When you're ready, keep your eyes closed and bring your hands down to your knees. And can you approach your practice so it's not all about you? Maybe you have something that you're trying to work on in your practice, or you want your practice to help you feel more calm or help with an injury. Can you also today add into your practice that for this bigger offering that will help benefit all beings? And this is the Bodhisattva way, the Buddha in waiting, the spiritual warrior that's mission is to alleviate the suffering of everyone. Let your eyes blink open. Let's come into table. And fingertips and knuckle ridges strong, hands about as wide as your shoulders. We're going to be doing several vinyasas, so making sure that you're starting with a good foundation, and then begin to move through some cat and cows. So as you inhale, arching the spine, and as you exhale, rounding. Notice the polarities between these two actions. And then begin to come into a neutral spine. So the shoulders integrate into the shoulder sockets, sit bones go back and wide, and the belly and ribs pull in. And then stretch your right leg back. Keep your right foot as high as your right hip. Engage your right leg and turn your right pinky toe down and lift your inner right thigh up. Belly stays in, both arms stay neutral. And then switch sides. Right knee down, left leg back. Letting this internal rotation of the back leg while staying integrated in the rest of the body. Neck stays in line with the spine, so the throat pulls back a little bit. Switch sides again. The next time that right leg is out, add your left arm stretching forward. Left thumb is up. From your core, stretch out. All right, switch sides. Send the second leg back. And then your right arm. And square off the hips and the ribs. One more time on each side. And switch. Really nice. Back to table. Neutral spine. So shoulders integrated, and push through your hands and see if you can coordinate. When you push through your hands, your floating ribs get strong. You can even try taking one hand up and kind of like patting your solar plexus area and notice if it feels toned. And then walk your knees back a little bit, shift your shoulders over your wrists, coming into modified chaturanga. We're gonna do 3 little push-ups. Bend your elbows a little bit and pause. And as you bend your elbows, slide forward on your knee skin and keep pushing through your hands so your core is strong. Head is held back in alignment with the rest of the spine, and then straighten your arms. Again, bend. So as we do these vinyasas, you don't need to bend your elbows very deeply. Hold, pushing through the hands, core in, pushing through the knees helps a lot. Push through the foundation to come back up. And one more time. And then lower all the way down to your belly. Strengthen your legs and try to pull your chest away from your hips. Hands push down and back as you peel your heart open, cobra pose. All right, downward facing dog. I've been really liking this reflection of my practices for everyone. It helps me like show up and be more present. Or if I'm like just doing a practice for myself, I'll start thinking about like what I want to do today or the groceries I haven't picked up yet. But if I'm doing the work for everyone else, it helps me be like, oh, I'm distracted. I'm going to clear this distraction for the benefit of all people and come back to my awareness. I hope you give that a try. Look forward to come forward. Bottom of your exhale, hop or step your feet forward. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Push through the toes, the balls of the feet and the heels, active feet. Little bend in the knees, sit bone stretch up to the sky. Inhale, take your hands to your thighs and stretch your chest forward. Long spine. Push through your hands so your core stays in, so it should feel similar to plank in that way, and then hinge back down. 2 more times, inhale and lengthen. And fold. Lengthen. Okay, hold the length, belly to spine, take your hands to your hips and come up with a long spine. So from the glutes, pull yourself up to standing. We're not going to be repeating a ton of sun salutations, but when you do, that coming up is really important that you're not like jacking up your spine in some way. And first round, bring your hands in front of your heart. So this first round is about your own transformation, your own healing, your own cultivation and relearning of your inner wisdom, but also fueled with this deepest purpose so you can be of service to others. So have that in mind until we move to the next round. Inhale, stretch your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and bow forward. Inhale, stretch your spine forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Hold plank for a moment, decide if you want knees up or knees down. Coordinate the pushing of the hands with the ribs in and then lower down and pause. Come all the way down to your belly when you're ready and lengthen and curl. I'm a big fan of this drunken cobra where you kind of like pull yourself forward one at a time. And when you're ready, back to downward facing dog, a few rounds of breath here. All right, as you inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. One of the actions we're going to be working with today is inner spiral, we call it in Anusara. So engage your right leg and begin to internally rotate your right leg until your hips are level. Inner right thigh up, pinky toe down. And then step your right foot forward between your hands. Long spine, belly in, take your hands to your hips and come up into your lunge. And stretch your arms up. Your back leg is like your guide. So use your back leg to guide yourself forward in the direction you want to be going. Outer back hip forward, and then push down through your right heel to lift you up to the sky. Keep rooting through your front foot, press up, standing balance. Tree pose. Left foot can be wherever you want on your right leg, except the knee. Squeeze the legs together. And use your left foot as a way of adjusting your right leg, and try to pull the right inner thigh back with your left foot. And then root from your left hip into your left heel. Belly in, you can do whatever you want with your arms. Really nice step back lunge. And then take a little side stretch up and over to the right. Hands can stay together, or right hand can come to your hip. And up and over to the left. All right, back through center. Plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog, left leg up. Squeeze the left let the leg muscles to the bone and internally rotate the left femur bone in the hip socket. And if your belly starts to soften when you do that, pull your navel in and maybe your ribs in. Push strongly through your hands. Step your left foot forward. Get long. Then push through your feet. When you're ready, lunge. Push into your left foot, tree pose. I like to think there's different levels in yoga, and sometimes you come to yoga and you want to do all the alignment, and sometimes you want to go to yoga and you just want to go deep. So if that's the case, when I say alignment things, you just ignore me. Totally fine. The alignment piece we're going to be working with today is that the back leg we inner rotate, and the front leg we scoop the hip. So in this pose, the back leg is the standing left leg. So that's the leg you try to rotate the inner flesh of the and muscle backwards. And then the front hip is the right leg. So squeeze the glute and push through the heel. I'm going to step back lunge. Little side stretch to the left. Feel your outer left hip and turn it forward. Nope, right hip, turn it forward, your back hip, and then your front hip, wrap your left glute under as you push through your heel. Side stretch on the other side. Come back through center, lengthen as you plant your hands downward facing dog. Bend into your knees, look forward, hands strong, shoulders integrated, and then step or hop your feet forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Find your length, stabilize your belly, hands to your hips. Inhale. Next exhale, up to standing, stretch up. All right, into the next one, exhale, bow in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands. Lower into your chaturanga. And then when you're ready, down to your belly, peel open the heart. Pinky toes stay strong. Reach back through your feet and forward through your chest. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Right pinky toe down, inner right thigh up. Work your right foot forward between your hands. And then bring your left knee down to the floor or a cushion. Bring your hands up to your hips on Anjaneyasana. Push down into your legs. And then notice, I call this gating off your hips. If you had I like to take my arms and be like, where are my hips actually facing? And almost always they're wanting to turn towards the back hip. Then with your back leg, try to rotate your inner left thigh backwards as you turn your left hip forward. And then that will tend to make the belly drop and like too big of a crease in your front hip. So now engage right booty and push through your heel. And from there, stretch up. Maybe little side stretches. And then when you're ready, back through center, plant your hands, downward facing dog, left leg up to the sky. See if you can lift your left leg with the internal rotation so you don't need to adjust it as much. Step your left foot forward, right knee down, Anjaneyasana, hands on your hips. And then decide what you want your pose to help you with. Turn your back hip forward, root through the left, from the left glute through the left heel. Pull your body up. Maybe little side stretches. All right, back to center, plant your hands, downward facing dog. All right, bend your knees to the floor, seated meditation. This will be brief. I'm feeling this, a dedication of your own healing, transformation, the fertilization of what you need in this moment. And if or when feelings and thoughts come up, imagine them like clouds. Imagine that it's thoughts and feelings that the collective has, and help work with filtering them out so you can feel more clarity. Great, let your eyes open, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, drag your sit bones back, stretch through your spine, and then step or hop, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Hold with your inhale, long spine, take your hands to your hips, and then practice coming up with your long spine as you exhale. Stretch your arms up, and exhale, hands through heart center. This next round is for people you love, friends, family, teachers in your life. I like to include assholes who've helped me ground in this round. I'll whisper it so it doesn't come out as loud. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lower down chaturanga, pause. Come to your belly, lengthen and curl. Downward facing dog. Sending this wish that these loved ones of yours, these teachers of yours, these friends and families don't suffer, feel loved, feel safe. Zaina, nice cobra. Such an even curve, my friend. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. Peek at your left knee, keep a little bend in your left knee. Now open your right hip towards the right. Keep your shoulders level. And even as your right hip's open to the right, can you still connect to a little internal rotation of that right leg? So even as the hips are open, you still feel the slight pull of your inner right thigh drawing back. Step your right foot forward between your hands, second warrior pose. Push into the inner and outer edges of both feet, strong legs. Inner left thigh draws back. Sometimes I'll take my left hand and wrap it behind my back hip, grip my inner thigh or my inner left thigh and pull it back a little bit so it like reverses. Beep, beep, that's the reverse truck. And then take your right fingertips to the outside edge of your right knee. Squeeze your right glute and pull your right knee over a little bit and then push through your heel. That should help you lift through the spine. Stretch your arms wide. Reverse warrior. Then come forward, Parsvakonasana, elbow to thigh. Stretch the top arm up and over. Stay here or bring the fingertips down to the floor or block. As you get lower, the action of keeping the back hip back and pushing down from the front heel gets more difficult. And from the strength of your legs and the cultivation of your core, come back up, warrior two. Downward facing dog. Left leg up. Open your left hip towards the left. And then your inner left thigh muscles, your adductors, squeeze them and draw them backwards towards the right wall slightly. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Second warrior pose. So hands on your hips. There's a few ways warrior two is taught. One of them is that this back hip draws forward. That's not the way I tend to teach it. So notice if in your hips, if you rotate your back hip forward, pull your right hip back and then pull your right adductor back. Then squeeze your left glute, maybe left fingers to the outside of the left knee, and see if from your glute you can pull the knee over. And then from your glute you can push more strongly through the heel. When you're ready, arms at a T, stretch. Tip up and back, reverse warrior. Get long power from the legs. And then hinge forward, modified Parsvakonasana. When you're ready, if you'd like, you could go into full Parsvakonasana. Right, push through your feet, second warrior pose. Then plant your hands downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, hopper step, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. If it's good for your body to lengthen from halfway up, do that, or bow forward. And then find your long spine as you come all the way up and stretch, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands through heart center. One more round for these special jewels in your life. Inhale. Reach up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lower down. Finish moving through your vinyasa at your own time. Yeah. Awesome. When you're ready, right leg up to the sky. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Lengthen your heart forward and take both of your hands up to your right thigh. This is like the I think of this as the CPR position. We'll push consistently through your front thigh and draw your core in. Keep your core in and integrate your shoulders. Now we're going to press up onto our right foot, modified version of warrior three. Continue to root Hands into thigh, core in. Try to lift your back foot as high as your hip. And now inner spiral your back leg, so your belly button is facing more down, not to the left. Maybe stretch your right arm forward, left hand stays on the thigh, pushing. Great, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, when you're ready, left leg up. As you lift the leg, notice where your belly button is. So the belly button tells you kind of what your legs are doing. You want your belly button to face forward, and you can use your back strong leg to help you do that. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Take your hands up to left thigh CPR position. Strong core and shoulders. So watch out for this mistake of getting a strong core, but now the shoulders aren't integrated. Push up and balance. You might play with moving your hands on your thigh. I like my hands to be as high on my thigh as possible. Right hip down, belly in, maybe stretch your left arm. It's kind of like what we did in table at the beginning of class. Step back, downward facing dog. Right, bend your knees, seated meditation. One of my favorite quotes is by Shanti Deva. It's, all the joy the world contains comes from wishing happiness for others. So if you want to be happy, wish happiness for others. All the misery the world contains comes from wanting pleasure for oneself. Right? Downward facing dog. A strong hand, shoulders lifted, core engaged. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And we're gonna windshield wiper the legs. So bring both of your heels to the right. So you'll be on the outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of the left foot. Bend your knees a little bit to the left as you send your sit bones back and up to the right. Maybe walk your left fingertips towards the left corner of your mat. And come back through center. Swizzle over to heels to the left. Knees to the right, maybe walk your right fingertips forward. Downward facing dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step or hop, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Protect your spine, come up with your strong legs, Urdhva Hastasana. Bring your hands through heart center. My third round is the Bodhisattva round. So it's the dedication to all sentient beings, the planet, coronavirus, AIDS. Sending this prayer for all suffering to end. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, move through your vinyasa. Awesome. Nice length, Andy. I was watching an interview by the Dalai Lama, and he was saying, like, when I say all suffering will end, I don't mean there won't be pain in the world. Like, my knees and my hips are going to continue to hurt me, but I can choose to not suffer over it. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands, maybe left knee to the floor, or not maybe, left knee to the floor, maybe cushion that baby with a blanket. I mean, everything I say is really a maybe. You don't really have to do anything I'm saying, but just to clarify. Okay, hands on your hips. Notice, where are you facing? What are your actions like bringing you towards? Turn your back hip forward with the back leg and push through your right hip, stretch up. Stay here or maybe walk your front foot a little bit further forward, but keep your knee over your ankle and stay strong so you're not dropping as low as you can. Right, push through the front leg and straighten it. Flex your foot back. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Ardha Hanumanasana. Push down through the left knee and spin your outer left hip forward. And try to get your belly button to turn a little bit towards your right knee. You can stay here or you can stretch your right arm a little bit more forward. You can even do this with a block and try to pull more length in your spine as you bow forward, as you continue to send your pubis and sit bones back. I've also been really liking in my own practice to add like a flex and point with my front foot. Flexing and pointing the front foot. Great, walk your hands back in, pull your right foot back a little bit, press up and balance, standing splits. A modification for standing splits could be Warrior 3 modified, hands on your thigh. The back hip really likes to open in this pose because it makes you look cooler because the foot gets higher. And see if you can stay connected to the internal rotation of the left leg. Push down through your right foot, stretch up through your left foot, and then step back, downward facing dog. Come back to your sky of awareness. How cloudy has it gotten? And then letting it be okay, and also working on cleansing it out as a way of clearing out for the collective. Inhale, left leg up. Step your left foot forward. Right knee down. Anjaneyasana. One of the ways we can think about yoga, or I like to think about yoga, is it helps me like go where I want to go and think what I want to think instead of just like being on the ride. So that's like the turning of the hips, learning to like go face where you want to be facing. Think what you want to be thinking. Maybe work your left foot more forward. Push through the back knee, push through the front foot. Keep pushing through your front foot, straighten the leg. Flex the foot, hips forward, lengthen, belly button leads, sit bones go back. Can work towards the variation of left arm forward and pointing and flexing the foot if you want. Wonder if it applies the same as when we stretch our hamstrings, we're stretching the collective. All those tight hammy people. Okay, work your left foot in a little bit, foot on the floor, standing splits. Urdhva Prasadha Ekapadasana. Push through the left foot, stretch up through the right leg, keep the outer right hip spinning forward. Draw the shoulders into the shoulder sockets. Step back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, seated meditation. Calibrate and radiate this wish for all beings everywhere, the planet, everyone suffering, to be relieved of their pain. Reminding yourself we're all connected, so when you get pissed off, that you can use your practice and let that piss offness move through you, but not act on it. You're doing that for the collective as well. Okay, downward facing dog. A little bend in the knees, look forward, hands strong, step or hop. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Hopefully every time you're lengthening, you're getting a little bit longer. Exhale, bow. Push through your feet. Inhale, come up and stretch up to the sky. Full stretch, longest yet, and then hands through heart center. Hi, last rounds. This round's about the conversation between you and source, whether that's nature, whatever you call God, or just the intelligence that makes the sun rise, the intelligence that beats your heart, that tells the flowers when to open, feeling that connection to this source energy. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, lengthen. Plant your hands, vinyasa. If you're over vinyasas, you could skip it. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Fingertips stay on the floor, or they could come to blocks. Push through your front leg, Parsvottanasana. Legs strong, both legs straight. Drag the booty back, lengthen the spine forward. And strengthen your back leg and try to spin your left heel slightly to the left as you turn your inner left thigh back and outer left hip wraps forward. And then squeeze your right glute and push down. Really nice. Bend your front knee over your ankle, work your fingertips forward, standing splits again. Push strongly through your right foot, lengthen your spine forward, and then begin to walk your hands up your thigh for warrior 3. The jumper was not a good idea for my mic. That's okay. Lengthen. Then bow back down, standing splits. Options. You can come back up to modified warrior 3. You can stay in standing splits, or you can walk your hands a little bit forward. Take your shoulders over your hands, come up onto the ball of your back foot, push through your hands so much your core gets strong, but your shoulders stay integrated, and then jump to kick your left hip over your pelvis. Really nice. And then come down and pause in seated meditation or downward facing dog. Handstands are my favorite because it just gives you so much stuff to work with. So if like a superiority complex started to come up, like work through that. We need to collectively work the superiority complex out of our country. If inferiority came up, try to like release that too. Also something that the collective is working through. Okay, second side, downward facing dog. Left leg up to the sky. Nice. Great back leg, Andy. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Parsvottanasana. I was once listening to a podcast and they were saying like how many involuntary actions are happening every second in our body. It was like a million or something. And I was like, well, we don't think through that through. Like, what intelligence is doing that for all of us? And if that doesn't resonate with you, just ignore it. Okay, standing splits. Walk your hands forward, back leg up. Strengthen your left leg. Walk your hands up the left thigh. Come back down, fingertips to the floor, standing splits. Maybe back to warrior three, stay here, or handstand hops. Nice. When you feel complete, downward facing dog. Well, the quote I put in my Instagram to promote this class was something like the world doesn't need more bendy people, and I'll add more people who can do handstands. They need more compassionate people. So it really doesn't matter how you did in that. Look forward to come forward. Bring your feet forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. And then bow. Inhale, come all the way up and stretch. Hands through heart center. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Plant your hands, step back, move through your last vinyasa if you want. Nice. And when you're ready, inhale, right leg up to the sky. Step your right foot forward between your hands. High runner's lunge. Engage your back leg, spin your left hip forward, lift your inner left thigh up. Feel how that shifts your hips to the right. And push them through your feet. Come on up, lunge, hands on your hips. And you can stay in lunge or you can do warrior one. I consider warrior one an advanced pose because I think it's easy to misalign it. So back heel maybe grounds or it stays up. Engage the back leg so the back knee is protected as you spin your left hip forward. So squaring yourself forward and then use your right hip, root under, push through the heel and then stretch up. Feel this like spiritual warrior or the Bodhisattva aspect rising. We're part of the collective, so we can help change the collective. All right, plant your hands, downward facing dog. Left leg up. Step your left foot forward between your hands. On this side, if you'd like, you could step your right foot down to start with or stay on the ball of your foot. Come on up. Same thing, get really clear that you're helping your back knee. You're not twisting the tibia fibia at the knee or the femur at the knee. Spin your back hip forward, root through the front foot, rise up. Really nice. Let your hands downward facing dog. All right, look forward. Bring your feet forward, Uttanasana. Then bend your knees and come down onto your back. And pull your knees in for a moment. Knees or happy baby. As you pull the knees in, continue to unwrap your pelvis, lengthening the low back. And bring your feet to the floor, knees bent. Push down through your elbows and your feet, lift your hips up. You could do this with a block under your back or your hands under your back. Root down through your feet and push your feet towards the front of the room to help lift your chest up towards your chin. And then keep your chest lifted and isometrically pull your heels back towards your head to help lengthen your spine. I like to take my hands to my hips here and push my hips gently towards my knees as I pull my belly in and up towards my throat. When you're ready, release. All right, lift up your left leg. Hook it over your right leg like you're crossing your legs, not the hip stretch. And then push into your right foot, lift your butt up a little bit and move it to the left. And then pull both of your knees over to the right for a supine twist. Maybe taking your right hand to your left hip and pushing your left hip away from your face. And come back through center. Uncross. Recross. Scooch the booty a little to the right. And then knees go to the left. Right shoulder stays on the floor. Right, when you're ready, come back through center and begin to move into your Shavasana. If your body feels like it wants one more thing, you could do that in lieu of Shavasana if it's not disruptive to others. And keeping your body still, you're going to take some rejuvenating breaths, helping you release what feels stuck and draw in what you'd like for the day. And begin to move toes and fingers. And when you're ready, come up to a seated meditation. We're going to end with one more meditation. So think about someone who you deeply, deeply love. And imagine that person suffering greatly. This one meditation I do, you even imagine that this person dies, is reincarnated as a baby deer, and is killed and attacked by a larger animal. Whatever you need to do to feel compassion welling up in your heart from this observer point of view. So it's not like giving you anxiety, you're just feel this deep compassion of not wanting them to be in any kind of pain. And begin to extend, once you feel this compassion, begin to extend this compassion to all of your friends and your family. And then begin to extend this compassion to all of your acquaintances and everyone you don't know. And extend this compassion to those you actively don't like. And extend this compassion to yourself. And draw your hands in front of your heart. And again, sending this practice to be a benefit to all beings everywhere. Let's end with one Om. Take a full breath in, hold it. Breathe out. And then we'll chant. Om. Great. I see you all, and I appreciate you all so much. I hope you have a week where you can be compassionate to yourself and others. Namaste.